I always tell myself like, oh yeah, I'll curse. Did you know like when I was younger, I like did not curse. I held back because I was trying to be good in school. I was like, no one curses in school. They don't like it. I will not curse. As soon as I got out of school, boom, everyone was that's it. And then I started streaming and I was like, oh man, I'm alone in a room. It's over. When I'm like out in public, I don't curse. I don't. Youngie was a goody two shoes. Oh no, I was not a goody two shoes, but I didn't curse. That was the thing. That was the good thing I did. I was a really good student, but I also just did what I wanted. You know, I was neutral. I was properly neutral. I never did anything bad to anyone except for when they did something bad to one of my friends and then I did something really bad to them. But it was out of necessity. You know, I did whatever made sense at the time. Lawful neutral? Oh, I don't know about that. I have no problem breaking rules. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, but the rules say. I was in like a million clubs. I've always been like this. I have a lot of different interests. I like doing a lot of different things. I like being well-rounded. The thing that plagued me was that I would join a club and then I would take on responsibility and I would start doing things. And they'd be like, oh, could you do this? And I would go, oh, yeah, of course I could do that. And then they would be like, hey, now that you've been in this club for 2 years, we're doing elections. Would you like to be like, go up for like president or vice president? And I would be like, no, I'm in a lot of things. Like there were a few where I said, yeah, I would. And I was like, hey, I'm already president of this thing. Like, I don't know if I can commit to that. And they would be like, okay, well, we'll just leave it up to vote. And you could just say you don't want to. So I would get up in front of everyone in the club and be like, yeah, no, I do have a lot of responsibilities already. And they would be like, well, you already do everything that a president would do anyway. And I would be like, yeah, isn't that a problem? Shouldn't you guys like look at that and go, oh no, I shall step up or something? They would just be like, well, it makes sense since you do everything. So we're gonna vote for you for president. And so I would become president of these clubs or vice president of one. I would be like, I can't even show up 5 days a week because I'm like in these other clubs. You know, most clubs are like 1 day a week around that time, right? And I'd be like, hey, I do so many extracurricular things that I make it to about 50% of things. And they're like, well, you handle it anyway, so it's fine. What? And so when I looked through my yearbook, president of this club, I would look at the club picture. I was in like so many of the club pictures just standing there and I saw my name as president of several. There was one I didn't even know I was the president of, or I was the manager, I think was the word they used for that one. They were like, yeah, manager of this club, GEEGA. And I was like, when? I think because I did the most, the teacher in charge just put my name down. And I was like, huh? So stupid. Must have been one hell of a college application. Oh, it was crazy. But because of that, I didn't do all my homework. Because I was focused on extracurriculars. So I would go to classes and they would be like, hey, you had a great test score, but you like didn't do this assignment. Why not? And I'd be like, well, in order to get into school I want to get into, I need to keep my GPA at this point. And doing this homework will not put me below that. So I'm just not going to do it. I want to sleep. So I balanced my priorities and I prioritized like other stuff more. So I wasn't like 100% A+. I had like okay-ish grades in every class because I didn't do a lot of assignments, but then like my test scores were good. So I was happy with that. And then when I wrote my college essay, I wrote that in. One of the essays was what do you value? And I was like, I value doing what I want and I value actually doing things relating to what I value and not just what other people say I should do. And then the example that I gave was how I focused on my extracurriculars and I did still study so that my test scores were good, but I did not feel it was important for me to do the homework just to get a slightly better grade because I already knew the material. Therefore, I skipped it and took the bad grade on the assignments so that I could have time to do extracurricular activities. And that was what I wrote one of my major college essays on. And I got in with that. Too honest there? I mean, that was the truth. That was the truth. I wrote that and they were like, oh, cool. I didn't go to that college though. It cost a lot of money and I had to pay for my shit. So I was like, no, no, thank you. But thanks for accepting me. I'll tell everyone that I got accepted and then be like, not going now. So that was cool.